Can you get ChatGPT to write code for leave one out? I bet it could. Okay, so you do that. What does that confusion matrix look like? Do you think it would be better or worse than the confusion matrix that we saw from, the K-folds validation? It's kind of hard to beat our error rate, right? We got four wrong out of 150, right? So on probability alone, you would say, no, it's not going to be better, right? But maybe it can. There's advantages and disadvantages to leave one out. So I'm going to challenge you guys to go out and do that. Work with ChatGPT in the same manner we've done today. We only gave it a handful of prompts today, guys, right? We only used not even 10 prompts today. So build on that and go do leave one out. What does that look like, right? Okay, guys, but I think I covered everything I wanted to do with the today's lesson. Thank you so much. A lot of really good feedback. I really enjoyed this. I'm willing to do questions now if you guys have questions, whether it relates to this study or not, because I know I might have skipped some in the chat, but maybe some of those people are still in the chat or maybe they're not. But I know we're already past 2 hours. So thank you all for hanging in there with me. A couple of you have been here the whole session, which is amazing. Kudos to you guys. So I'm open for questions. Again, if you posted something before, go ahead and repost it in the chat so that I can see it again. But questions on the lesson, questions on anything else, this is the time for it. But I think this is such a pivotal chapter. I hope that you guys are starting to see, those building blocks, those fundamentals of data science. Like you're always going to be doing this, right? You're always going to be, where's my data? Try it against my model. What did it tell me? That is data science. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing. So give you guys a minute here for questions. Okay, explore the beauty. Oh, you know what? Let me go to a bigger view. So explore the beauty says, could you please recommend some books on business problems solving for programmers? Explore the beauty, I don't think there's a lot of good ones for them. That's one of the reasons I wrote my book, Your First Year in Data Science, to kind of help you start to make that transition into a team. Because look, another part of business, of moving into the business, and I'm telling you guys, you're going to be employed by corporate entities, is how do you work within the data science team? Most study is just done on your own, but now you're going to be a bigger part of a team, right? So I cover that in my book. I try to kind of address that, your first year in data science. So you're going to find some help there, explore the beauty. But as far as business problems for programmers or like use cases, I can't recommend one because I've never needed one. But I really don't know if there's a good one out there. I'm guessing there is. But I can't recommend one because I can't speak intelligently on it. So I don't want to give you bad advice. So sorry. But it's good that you're at least thinking about it though. But work on the communication side, right? There's plenty of communication books out there. Okay. Hamad says thank you very much and learned a lot. Thank you, Hamad. I appreciate you being here, and appreciate your support of the Discord. Also, I know you're in Discord quite a bit. Mohammed Mesalmani says, do you think Masters in University of Texas at Austin, the online program data science, is worth investing in? I don't know that program in particular, Mohammed. So I really can't comment. I mean, I've been to that university. I've been part of the career fairs of that university, so I know it's a very good university. But I can't comment on their particular program. Sorry. I don't like to speak on things I don't know about. So I wish I knew more about individual programs, but I do not. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't advise you. Alan says, I'm actually confused about what we would gain from using leave one out, and furthermore, why should we accept the K-fold validation as our final answer? Well, I think you're hitting on a very important point there with leave one out. What are we doing when we try leave one out? Like on a meta level, right? What are we doing there? And that's open to anybody in the chat, right? What are we doing when we're gonna say, let me go to leave one out? I'll give you guys a hint. It begins with the letter E. What do you guys think? What are we doing there? Give you guys another second to think about it. There we go. That's right, Alan. It's an experiment. You're suggesting another experiment, and that's a good thing. You want to experiment, right? That's a positive thing of data science, right? So yeah, we're experimenting. You should always be looking to experiment, right? Now, having said that, when you say what would we gain from using leave one out, maybe you wouldn't. And that's going to be driven by any number of factors that are not always under your control. Maybe there's a business deadline. Maybe there's a lack of GPU resources. Maybe the business says, yeah, that's good enough. Or think about the opposite of that, right? As Yassine correctly pointed out, we had 4 errors out of 150 instances. Is that a good error rate for loan decisions? Yeah. Is that a good error rate for a self-driving car deciding when to press the brakes or not? Maybe not so much, right? So it just depends. Maybe it's a good error rate, maybe it's not. Right? We went through that in that same exercise in a previous class, right? Where we saw a confusion matrix and everybody agreed that it was good for loans, but because it had a 85% accuracy, I think is what it was. But then we reframed the problem into, what if this was a self-driving car and decisions for a self-driving car? Do you want a self-driving car to fail 15% of the time? Probably not. So it depends, Alan. There is no individual answer, right? Every data problem is different. Every model is different. Every experiment is different. So yeah, sometimes it makes sense to continue. Other times it won't. Other times you will be told to stop. Other times you will be told to continue, right? The business will tell you to continue. So it just depends. Just depends, okay? Joseph says, thanks for clearly defining K-fold and cross-validation is really helpful. Yeah, you're welcome. And I'm glad you say that, because I think there is a lot of confusion out there between them, right? Cross-validation is learning. K-folds is just how you're selecting a different way to select the samples, right? But 85% of the time when I've asked that question, what is cross-validation? The applicant, the person I'm interviewing, tells me the definition for K-folds, right? So please don't make that mistake. If you don't make that mistake, you'll be standing out among candidates, I guarantee it. Any advice to switch to big tech like Meta and Google? No advice in particular, right? I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to limit your company choices like that, There are, believe it or not, guys, there are more companies on the planet than Meta and Google. I promise you, there are more companies than 2, okay? Yassine says, can you please provide a general idea about the technologies we might need to do data science professional environment and deploy models correctly? Thank you for your efforts. Yeah. Your first year in data science? That's basically what I talk about, right? What is that shift that you need to make from school to a professional environment, right? Academic programs don't teach you how to go after your own data. They don't teach you how to talk to stakeholders. They don't teach you how to deploy an algorithm and how to maintain it, right? Academic programs are terrible at all of those, right? So that's what I recommend. And really, it's not, looking at your question, it's really not about the individual technologies, Yassine, because a lot of those technology stacks will be decided for you based on where you work, right? Like, they're not going to change your technology stack just because you're coming in and don't know it. You're going to have to adjust to them, right? So that's what I would advise you to think about, you have to be flexible to where you're going to end up and what stacks that they end up working with, right? All right, last call for questions, guys. We're hitting on 2 hours, 20 minutes. Good job, guys. Anybody else? Last call for questions, or you can also catch me in the Discord. I believe Rex just also posted that Discord link as a reminder, so thank you for that, Rex. Yeah, and by the way, guys, shout out to Joseph and Rex for helping me with the mod. You know, make sure you thank them next time you see them. They're doing a really good job with that. Yassine says thank you. So yeah, I hope it helped, Yassine. All right, guys. So I think this is a good time to wrap it up. I really appreciate all of you being here. Come back next week, Chapter 6. I gotta be honest, I don't even know what Chapter 6 is. I only look ahead a couple days ahead of time. But yeah, whatever Chapter 6 is, we're gonna be covering it next week. So look forward to seeing you there. I also stream every day at 1500 GMT, so come join for that. Yesterday we had a great session. We had a little game show, you know, just to have a little break in the content and all that. But tomorrow we're back at it. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow I am releasing a video for the first time where I talk about how I made the mid-career transition from software development into data science. People have asked me that question. I've never done a full video on it. I've shared little bits and pieces, but this is the first time I'm sharing the full video. So that's being released tomorrow. Look for that on my YouTube channel, Data Science with Dennis. But thank you so much. Appreciate the questions, appreciate the participation. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.